Now tell me, viewer, has this ever happened to you? You're living your dream, breeding crested geckos, but you are just so tired of the bins. Opening up each individual lid to feed and house your crested geckos, having them topple over because you lifted up too high and you're stacking them, or crested geckos running out because you left the lid open a little too long and decided to jump away. But you're not made of money. You didn't invest during the housing crisis of 2008. No, you were busy learning about multiplication because you were in middle school, which means you can never afford those fancy PVC enclosures at the prices of hundreds of dollars. Before today, I would tell you that you're out of luck because you didn't have the foresight to invest your money in real estate, instead buying Choco Tacos during lunchtime. You missed out and now there's nothing you can do. But today, boys and girls, that is going to change with our special guest, Dr. Burke, who has done countless hours of researching, finding you the best budget enclosure for crested geckos. And with all that being said, let's give a huge round of applause for our new guest while he explains it all, Dr. Burke. How's it going? You're a doctor? I might have fibbed a little on that application. Oh, well, clearly you embellished this. It also says here that you're handsome. Hurtful? If you guys are like me, you're probably really tired of using bins. I've been using them for half a decade now, and I just can't stand them anymore. The monotonous task of having to lift each individual one so carefully because they're stacked not to topple them all over is something I never want to deal with again. Now, I believe I actually found a super budget-friendly enclosure that is a little unorthodox. However, I use grow tents for tegus, so I'm Mr. Unorthodox, but I think it's going to work absolutely great for these crested geckos, and we actually have this top row up here that is completely ready to be upgraded new enclosures, and this is going to be a great starting period to see how well these guys are actually going to work. So stick around while I show you guys this new budget-friendly enclosure that you'll never have to use tubs again, and while we check out some amazing crested geckos. Let's get into it. You guys have probably noticed we've been expanding some of these baker racks here to fit all of my new grow outs, and like I mentioned a little earlier, these tubs need to be upgraded, and I think these enclosures are going to be absolutely perfect for it. First, we need to figure out what these enclosures are, so let's go ahead and do that. Of course, we are going to need the good old Baggins blade to open this box up, because why use good size and a nice length thing when you can use the Baggins blade? No, I'm not overcompensating for anything. No, it works great, I promise you. Oh, fantastic. They put a box in a box. You love to see it. Luckily, old Dakota has been practicing his deadlift, so let's go ahead and... And here we finally got him. Now, these enclosures, like I said, are gonna be a little unorthodox. They're actually meant for sneakerheads. They're used for shoe storage. And you might notice I have something very similar right here that I've been using for a little bit now. However, I have seen some issues with this design fully. Mainly, it's the... You can see they're kind of hard to... They don't just like open, which I guess is good for security, but at the same time, when you're dealing with a lot of them, like I only have 6 right now, so it's like my little prototype, it becomes a little difficult and a little bit annoying. I think with this new design that I found, this is a different brand of these things, I think this is gonna work a lot easier. Who knows, maybe they won't, and then I'll scrap this whole video and have to make another one. You guys have it, we did it. Look at how good this collection looks, absolutely fantastic. I'm just kidding, it's just a paper. It does give us instructions though, which I think is a little silly. What makes these things great is pretty much how easy they are to set up. They do ship flat, as you guys can see, but they always already have the corners kind of like bent out for you, so all you gotta do is like put it back into place, so just bend corners like this. And boom, you got a box. However, the crested geckos can still get out from these two ends, which is why they have these great things. They have the back right here, which is awesome. It already has little vent holes screwed out, so you're already good to go on that. So all you gotta do is it's really easy. You just clip the verticulation covers back. What? I should have just bought PVC. I should have just bought PVC cages. And guys, it's really that easy. No trouble at all. All right, let's see what the next step is. Do the same thing with the... Oh, son of a... Boom, and look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Let's do a test drive. They're still kind of a pain in the ass to open. Well, no, hang on. Oh no, these are a lot easier. Okay, so let's do... Alright, and... I think these are better. All right, let's build 12 more of them, and I'll be back. Why did I think this was a good idea? Just like that, we got them all finished. I mean, these things were super easy, guys. I definitely did not struggle on them whatsoever. So now that they are complete, there are some downsides that I do want to mention before we get started. Of course, we got these little hole things right here, as you can see. Now, I feel like my Crested Geckos, the size I'm going to put them, it's a small chance, but still is a chance they might be able to get out of that. So what we're going to do is we are going to tape up all of these holes. Right now I'm going to use metal tape for this. Duct tape will probably work better. I just don't have duct tape. So we're going to start decorating everything, getting the paper towels in there, some more decor, and then adding the decor that are in the shoebox bin so these guys can get into their new homes. Now, real quick before we continue on with today's video, I just want to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, Reptilinks. Reptilinks is a raw whole food prey item developed specifically for our snakes and lizards. These guys have done a lot of work over the years developing multiple varieties of foods, going from some common ones like the Mega Blend with fruits and veggies for our tegus, or maybe the Omnivore Blend for something like a bearded dragon or blue-tongued skink. Heck, you can even get a little bit weird with them. They got flavors like the Bayou Blend, rabbit and quail, or iguana meat. You can feed reptiles to your reptiles. My God, what a time to be alive. Whether you're just tired of seeing rats in your freezer, or maybe you're just trying to up the variety for your special reptile, Reptilinks has you covered. Now, if you guys want to get some more information on this, make sure to peep the link right down in the description, and also make sure to use code DBCB at checkout to save on your order. Your boy also gets a small cutback if you do. I very much appreciate it. Let's get back into the video. Now that we got these all finished up, we can start putting the geckos in. Now, the first one on my list is probably, I want to say this is my all-star gecko. This guy is absolutely amazing, filled with spots, black and red, and then some portholing as well. Absolutely fantastic. Let's see how he enjoys his new home. Up on the list is, I think, a close runner-up. Now, instead of a red base, this is going to be a yellow base. Still a great mix of red and black spots, however, not as severe and not as ink blotty as the one we just shown, but still an amazing gecko and one that's definitely held back over here. I'm not going to talk about every single gecko that's getting a new home in this, but I will drop by when we have a really all-star animal. You guys are probably also wondering why these three haven't been done anything with, and that's because they're not going for crested. It's actually another species of gecko that I don't really ever talk about, but we will at the end of the video. This guy's a really cool one. This is going to be a pretty much all red spot baby. I think I'm seeing about 10 black spots and the rest are going to be red. Absolutely fantastic. Great size on the red spots, especially on the side dorsals. Very nice. I can't wait to start a red project next season when these guys are old enough to breed. Right here we got Cookie Dough. I absolutely love this gecko. Not very much red spots, but still tiny amount. The biggest thing I like is the ink blotting, almost into oil spill territory. An absolutely awesome gecko. And of course, a cookie baby, Cookie Dough, cookie baby. No joke. But this girl will be part of what I like to call an ink spot project, so I'm really diversifying what I want to do with my super dolls. Some will be a mix of that heavy red and black. I believe there's like Mardi Gras, I was gonna say margarita, Mardi Gras lines, and then I want to do an ink blot like this, so getting the spots as big as I can, and then finally getting a gecko that is mostly, if not all, red spots instead of black. On the list, we got a really awesome one. I call this one either Tony or Tina the Tiger, depending on what sex it is. If I had to guess, I would say this is gonna end up being Tony the Tiger, but only time will tell. Absolutely great ink blotting spots. What I really like this animal is the really bold tiger striping. And what I like to call this thing a super tiger because it looks a lot better than just the regular tigers you usually see. Then over here, we've got the red-based lily white gal who is growing like a weed, which is absolutely fantastic. Hopefully, large enough to breed next season. Now, she's actually going to go in this bigger bin. I actually had 13 grow outs, but only 12 bins. So we got this one right here. Actually, Casey bought some of these for her roaches, so it worked out perfectly. So this one will get a little bit of a... bit of a bigger enclosure because she is a little bit of a bigger gal. Last gecko I do want to show off today. Gecko I do want to show off today is is this absolutely fantastic het empty back pos super soft scale. That's the same that has gotten a pretty good amount of size since we did get it at Flora Fauna. I believe I do have what it takes to actually figure out if it is a super soft or just a soft scale, but for right now, it is soft scale for sure, possible super soft. We will know here pretty soon. Absolutely beautiful dude. Cannot wait to make empty back soft scales of my very own next season. Finally, we'll finish up with putting the new guys into these boxes. Now, I don't want to spoil it yet, but I will give you guys a hint. These guys do like higher humidity, so I am going to use some Dirt Daddy substrate in order to keep that high humidity in here. For any of my OG peeps, put your guess down in the comments what you think it is. You'll probably guess it, but what I'll say is a little bit more of an obscure gecko and definitely not New Caledonian. Alright boys, I'm sorry for the interruption. I just want to talk a little bit real quick about the merch. If you're looking for a great way to support the channel while getting some absolutely badass merch, I mean, just check this out. We got Cresty in the front, Tokay in the back. Absolutely incredible. But hey, if Crested Geckos don't float your boat, which I mean, how can they not? But not to worry, we have a bunch of other incredible designs going from geckos, other geckos, well, more geckos. I think there's a chameleon one. If you guys want some more information, the band is right down there. It really helps me out. It helps me keep doing all the full-time stuff that I've been doing, living my dream. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, let's get back to the video. Alrighty, boys and girls, the comments are in. Stop the comments because we are about to show it off. Now, these new geckos that are going in these upgrade enclosures are going to be Chinese cave geckos. And I don't know if you guys remember, but last year I got 3 of these from the Gecko King, and I've been growing them out ever since. These guys are absolutely fantastic. These probable females are almost old enough to breed. One more season, probably next season, they will be good to go. I'll just have to source out a male for them, but that is absolutely fantastic. Beautiful species of Chinese cave. I'm definitely want to expanding to some more cave geckos in the future, but first things first, I didn't want to grow these girls out, get them some breeding groups going, and then finally hatching some more Chinese cave babies. Quite a while since we've done it. I think the last Chinese cave gecko I produced was like 2 years ago, so I'm excited to get back into these. Really cool. Of course, we're mostly New Cal and Tokay over here, but I just couldn't get rid of the caves. I think eventually they're going to be a really popular thing. Honest, boys and girls, these upgraded enclosures could not have come a moment sooner. We actually ended up almost running out of space on the rack, and we ran out of tubs. Luckily, after deep cleaning all these 12 to 13 tubs, we'll have those good to go for the new babies that we're expecting, I believe, like around 7 to 10 in the next 48 hours. Things are really ramping up over here, and it's definitely baby season. Right now I am reorganizing the stacks, so up here we have the holdbacks that I want to make for 2023. Down here we have the availability for 2023, which I will be updating the site here in the next couple of weeks when these babies are of age and size. Lastly, we got brand new babies, and then anything else that comes in that I really want to pay a little bit more attention to while it first enters its first couple of days of life. So you can never get enough of this. I absolutely love baby season. There's nowhere I'd rather be than still opening tubs and putting food in. But hey, you get to see cool geckos grow up while you do it, so at the end of the day, it's worth it. If you guys want to check out some more of my Crested Geckos, I do have a video right here showing my entire Crested Gecko collection, or a playlist right here that shows all my New Cal content with over like 40 videos. As always, if you guys made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. As always, thank you so much for taking the time in your day to follow us over here at Dakota Blue Exotics. I will see you guys next time, but until then, goodbye.